Hey friends, we're here in the kitchen. Lynn's here.
Hi.
Harvest is over. It ended yesterday.
Thank God.
It was about a 2-week run this year, and it got over yesterday. We cleaned the combine up and put it away and had supper with everyone, the crew, and storms came in the night and it rained a half inch. And Lynn took our grandkids home, some of them today, and I slept all day. Don't I look like all awake and everything? So no, really, just kind of crashed. It's been cloudy and gloomy out, and I just, after 2 months of burning the candle at both ends, I ran out of candles. So anyway, this evening we're just going to do a quick, catch-up video on some stuff we've been doing. We've not been doing really good at our videos during harvest. We had about a 2-week run during harvest, and I did get a video out somewhere in there of some combine time, and you got to see some crop coming in. So that's basically where I've sat for 2 weeks. But we do a lot of preventive maintenance before harvest, and this year we did it like we always do, but we had a few breakdowns this year, and we don't normally have that, and it slowed us down. And they weren't anything that you could prevent. Those of you that are mechanically oriented, we had a harmonic balancer come apart, which I've never had that happen ever on any engine ever. And Lynn had to go to Oklahoma City to get that because that's a truck engine in the combine. And we had a injector line crack. I've never had that on any diesel engine ever, but it did. And there was only one in Clinton, North Carolina, or we found one. A friend of ours helped us find one in Kansas City, and another friend went and got it for us. And so we called in a lot of favors in the last 2 weeks. And so thank you to those folks, you know who you are. But anyway, harvest is over, and it was a good harvest, but the garden has gone on while that's been happening, and Lynn's been taking care of it. Watering and picking, and she's been canning, and they do the evening meals for us, and we kind of stop and everybody comes in and we eat together and then go back to the field till late. But you've been busy, so she's going to show you. It's 2-part video. I don't know why we're going to do this, but we're going to do a video tonight on the benefits of fermenting. We haven't talked about fermenting at all. Fermenting garlic in honey. And that'll be a little bit later. First, we want to catch up on a few things. So as harvest has been going, we've been freeze drying and Lynn, I say I'm not. I come in a zombie, take a shower, and hit the pillow. But Lynn has been freeze drying and canning. So you want to say or show?
Okay. We had bought a freeze dryer, and we worked so hard in our garden that we want to waste nothing. So if we don't can it, we're going to freeze dry it. And so it takes 24 hours to do it, but this is the first time I freeze dried cherry tomatoes. And I don't know if you can see that, but there's all the different kind of cherry tomatoes we had growing. It's very lightweight, but the taste, it's crispy, light, and flavorful.
These are like candy, tomato candy.
They're delicious, yes. And then we had a lot of peppers and bell peppers, and I've done the same thing, freeze dried it. It's very lightweight. And then also green beans and snap peas, the same thing with that. And the snap peas are great as a snack as well. And of course, these are our larger squash that we freeze dried. So we've done that. Go ahead.
The freeze dryer maintains 97 to 98% of the nutrition in the food. So your vitamins and all the minerals and things that are in there stays when you freeze dry. And then you can either eat it freeze dried, or you can reconstitute it with vegetable stock or water. Or we've made soups and stir fries, and it's delicious, and you can't tell it's been freeze dried.
It tastes fresh.
And one of these sacks, 20 years. You can store this for 20 years.
On your shelf. It doesn't have to be in a freezer.
Yeah. Super light. Just open them up, reconstitute it, and you can have the food. So we're in love with the freeze dryer. I need to do a video on it sometime. We modified it. I can't leave anything alone. The freeze dryer, they want you to change the oil in the vacuum pump like every 3 times. And so I just built an oil filtration system for it that takes about, what, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
So way easier. And if you get a freeze dryer, you need to do it. It's about 30 bucks in parts. Took, what, an hour to make it? So anyway, that's another video. You can stuff too. She doesn't just freeze dry. She's been canning.
We've been canning, yes. And with canning, you do lose some of the nutrition in there. So that's why we want to freeze dry some as well. But we've canned squash, my first time ever to can. And then we pickled cucumbers. One was in the pressure canner, one was just bathing.
Water bath.
Water bath. Okay. And then I watched a video and they talked about pickling cherry tomatoes. So we pickled cherry tomatoes. We haven't tried them yet, but this is what they look like.
We're letting them, what?
I don't know what you call it.
Marinate?
Sure.
Is that the word?
I'm a beginner.
So here's the deal. My grandmothers, I grew up with all my grandparents, canned, and my mom canned, and I think canning is like this lost art that no one knows how to do. And so Lynn wanted to do that this year, and basically she's talked to my mom some, and but we bought the ball book and a pressure canner, and then some YouTube videos, probably.
Yeah,
you know,
several
gotta love
YouTube
YouTube, right? But these are like, we haven't canned prior to this year, so and we will be canning more, and we wanted to get a few under our belt, but we do intend to do some canning videos. So if you want to learn to can or preserve food, that's an option. And we did say that, Raiden's coming through, we did say that you lose some nutrition in what you can. You do, but you lose nutrition in anything you cook. So, and when you're canning, you're cooking in the can or in the jar. So it's not like wasteful to can, it's just you're losing the same amount of nutrition that you lose when you cook it. So don't think that canning is bad or anything like that. But that's just something that we're doing and catching y'all up, and harvest is over and we're so happy about that. And we're going to catch up on some sleep, and we're going to get the house in order, and then now field work starts, and probably some haying and some other things going on. But the garden continues. We've been through, gosh, I think it's been 40 some days, 44 days since a rain, until we got the ½ inch last night. So everything's just burning up. We've been in the hundreds. If you're not watering it, it's dead right now. And even what we water, it just doesn't. You can't replace rain. I don't know if y'all noticed that, or those of you this is your first time to garden, you just can't replace rain. I don't care how you do it. Right. But anyway, the things are looking a little tough, but they're still producing. And so the rain's good. Nice cool day today. It's supposed to rain again tonight. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow. And so that's going to be great for our outdoor stuff. And we're behind in here on canning. I noticed the basket's full, and
yes.
And so we've got lots to do. But we're going to do a video here on garlic too. So that's just our catch up portion of this video. You have anything else? No? Okay. We're just here at the dining room table, just sharing about harvest with y'all. So if you have questions about grain harvest or wheat harvest, I know that's really odd to some of you, and to others it's old hat. You do it too, and but it's just, it's becoming, there's less and less of us farmers out there. Farming's becoming more corporatized and just turning into corporate farming and lots of hired hands, but no producers really. And so we still do everything ourselves. And so if you have questions about wheat or grain or harvesting or how or why or any of that, throw it out there in the comments. We'll be glad to answer anything along those lines. And we're going to move on with another portion of this video. Hey everybody. So part 2 of the video tonight, I don't know how this is all going to come out in the editing, so maybe it'll be different, I don't know. Want to talk about the benefits of this lovely little garlic plant. We didn't grow garlic this year in the garden. We will be growing garlic next year. And so this is not our homegrown garlic, but there's still a lot of benefits here. And the benefits of honey. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a concoction or a preparation of garlic cloves and honey, and we're going to ferment the garlic in the honey for 20 days-ish. And after that, spoonful a day of the liquid and a garlic clove, if you can get it in there. It's super great for your digestive tract, probiotics, prebiotics, all that good stuff, and all the usual benefits of honey. Fermenting the garlic into the honey, you get the properties of the garlic as well. Antioxidants, immune booster. There's tons of things with garlic out there in the immune system. And garlic's just kind of harsh. There's some people like, oh, I just chew a clove a day. And I'm like, you're crazy, because that's nasty. I love garlic cooked, but just to chew a raw clove, man, that's pretty harsh. So garlic fermented in honey, though, is very tasty. It's super delicious. It takes on a lot of the properties and the flavors of the honey. The garlic's still there in the background, but it's super great stuff. And we're going to track this video. I'll add a little piece to our other videos, or maybe we'll shoot another one as we go about the fermenting process. And you say, oh, fermenting, everybody freaks out, right? Don't freak out about fermenting. That's just ways that we talked about freeze drying. That's using technology heavily to preserve food. We talked about canning. Those are just food preservation methods. So is fermenting. Fermenting's been around and done for thousands of years, and we have some technological advances that help us ferment safer now, but it's an old tradition. It's an old spin on preserving food. So speaking of technology helping, this little container is available on Amazon. And they are maintenance-free silicone fermenting lids. And what they are, it's just a silicone lid that replaces the metal piece in your jar. And you place this on there, and the fermenting process creates gases. So as we cover the garlic with the honey, we're going to cover that in a minute. When the process starts happening during the first 2 weeks, the jar begins to create gases. And if you don't burp the jar, if you're using a metal lid and ring, you need to take that lid and ring off and let the gases out of that jar. You could actually blow a jar up, make it explode. So the easiest thing to do is to use these. It's kind of like a baby bottle. It's got a hole in the center, but it's sort of a one-way valve. It only lets the gases out. It won't let air back in. And you just screw this on with the ring onto your jar. Forget about it. You still need to stir your jar during the first 20 days. After that, you're done with this piece. You put this back on and just keep it out on the counter, your jar of fermented garlic and honey, and take your teaspoon a day. So we're going to cover that right now. We're going to go through the process and we'll be back. Woo! It smells like garlic in here. Lynn has rejoined me, and I'm going to tip this camera down, maybe. We are, we've broken the garlic up into these cloves, and I just take them and smash them with a knife. They say if you smash the garlic, it helps it to take on the honey better and release its oils into the honey. And then we just peel all the skin off, and I think my fingers are going to smell like garlic for 3 weeks. The bigger cloves, that's bigger than you'd probably want to chew in a spoonful, we've been cutting them in half and putting them in there. And we're about to get a jar full here. But I wanted to show you that process of getting the garlic peeled down to a clove. And then we've been smashing them and putting them in the jar. So that's where we're at so far. Okay, we have our jar of mighty fragrant garlic cloves. And they've been peeled and smashed. And so we're gonna take our honey. Talking about the honey, you want to use raw honey, and you don't want to use anything processed. It needs to be pure raw honey. And there's more benefits to you if you use honey from your region. And that's because the bees that are doing their thing, making the honey, are getting pollen from all of the plants, flowers, anything that bees get pollen from that grows in your region. So the antibodies that are produced when they create the honey help with allergies. For years I've taken a spoonful of honey, regionally grown honey, especially certain times of the year when there's something in the air that really bothers me. I can do a spoonful of honey a day from regionally grown or regionally harvested raw honey, and there's huge properties to that. So clean jar, clean your garlic, raw honey that's regional to you. And what we're gonna do is try and
You need a funnel?
I think I can get in there. We're gonna try and put this honey over this garlic. Now the garlic is gonna wanna float. And the honey's not gonna wanna go down through there very well. So you'll have to wait a little bit and let it work its way down through there. That doesn't really seem to help too much. And we may have too much in this one jar. And if so, we'll make 2 jars. But we'll see how this works. I want to give this a minute to go down. And we'll be back. Okay, we're gonna wrap this video up. What I wound up doing was making 2 jars. We had a full jar of cloves, and you just couldn't get the honey in there around them. So now we have 2 jars. They're fully coated. We're gonna use these fermenting lids. I've cleaned the rims of the jars. I've cleaned the outside of the jars, and we're gonna set these on here. They come in blue, pink, and lime green. And we're gonna put these rings on these jars. Now, once a day, especially for the first few days, we're gonna give this a stir. And right now, it's just super thick honey with garlic in it. But what's gonna happen over the next few days is you're gonna see the garlic begin to release its oils into the honey. The honey will infuse the garlic, and the fermentation process will start. We'll start seeing lots of little bubbles on the top, and the honey will get more liquidy. It'll actually get much thinner than even pancake syrup. So it's going to get really watery as the process happens. And at the end of about 14 to 20 days, somewhere in there, the bubbles will stop, things will quit changing, and everything will kind of stabilize. And at that point, you can put a regular lid back on these jars, and then you can store it in the refrigerator, or you can store it at room temperature on your kitchen counter. But the deal is a spoonful a day of the liquid, and get a clove and chew it up once a day. Some people say also before bed, they'll help you sleep better. One of the properties I didn't mention earlier of this is it's a blood pressure lowerer. I don't know if that's a word, but it's supposed to help lower your blood pressure. So there's that benefit as well. Helps in digestion, helps, huge immune booster. It's a massive immune boosting. People talk about if they start to get a scratchy throat, they'll take like 2 spoonfuls. But just preventatively 1 a day. And this is, do the research, go out there, read up on this. We're not making this up. It's out there. There's hundreds of people doing it. Some people add ginger root to this. We might do our next batch that way. Some people add some onions to it. I'm not sure about that. But I do know the ginger root with digestion and some other things is, ginger root's really good for you. And other people I saw adding turmeric to this, so that's an option as well. Right now we're just going to do the straight garlic and honey ferment, see how that goes, and we'll go from there. But we'll add to the video over the next several days showing this change in consistency as the fermentation process begins to happen. And we'll track the progress of that. Hope to have more videos out for you all. Harvest is over, and so hopefully we'll have a little more time for some things like getting our videos produced and out there. Really hope you're enjoying the OK Family Farmstead. If there's something you want to see that we haven't shown you, throw that in the comments. If you have questions about fermenting, questions about grain harvesting, talk to us in the comments. We like to answer questions and dialogue with people. Hope you're enjoying the channel. Like I said, subscribe, tell somebody about us, get them to subscribe. Our goal is we want 1,000 subscribers in a year. I don't know if that's achievable or not, but that's what we're shooting for. So tell your friends and family about us. Make a jar of this for your friends and family as well. You can pick up locally grown garlic and locally grown honey from your beekeepers, and have a jar of this in 3 weeks and be helping someone boost their immune system. It'd be a great gift, or anything like that. But read up on the fermenting of honey and garlic. There's hundreds of other ferments out there that you can do. This is probably the easiest, most basic one to start with, and we'll look at some other methods and some other ferments maybe later on. So anyway, hope you're enjoying things. Hit subscribe, hit like, shoot us some comments, ask some questions, and we'll get you another video out there. Thanks.